Welcome to today's class. We'll be talking about workbook and worksheet basics, difference between a workbook and a worksheet, how to create a new workbook, adding, renaming, deleting, and navigating worksheets, understanding rules and columns. So, the first thing we'll be doing is to talk about what a workbook is. So, a workbook is basically the entire Excel file that contains multiple worksheets. So we save workbook with extensions like .xlx, .xlsx or .xls. So basically, you can think of a workbook as a notebook. Let's say this is my notebook, and you know your notebook has different multiple pages. So the collection of those different multiple pages makes up a workbook. So it's basically like it holds multiple worksheets. So what is a worksheet? So a worksheet is a single page inside that workbook where you enter and analyze data. So it's just the same thing I gave an example. We have a notebook, we have a page. So you can basically say that a page in a notebook is like a worksheet in a workbook. So we can name a worksheet as sheet one, sheet two. So I'll be showing us basically how to use a workbook, how to use a worksheet in the Excel interface. So let's go to our Excel page. So this is our Excel application. So I'll be showing us how to open a new workbook. I'll be showing us the different method by which we can open a new workbook. So to open a new workbook, all you need to do is just click on blank workbook. So you can see that we have a new workbook. So that is that is one way to open a new workbook. So if you want to open a new workbook, instead of coming to file, then come and select blank workbook, you press this back. So all you need to do is just press the control and the N key together. So if I press control N, it's basically open a new workbook for me. So that is like this, that is the shortcut to open a new workbook. But let's say, for example, you want to create a template. Basically, let's say your organization told you to create an invoice and you don't want to start from the beginning, you just want to use a template. All you need to do is just come to new. You can then search for the templates you want. So let's say I want to search for an invoice template. I select, then I press search, and I open the invoice template. Let's say this is what I want, and I press create. So you see that this has it created a new invoice for me based on a template. All I'll just do is enter the data. So like I was explaining to you previously, a workbook is made up of multiple worksheets. So like I explained in the previous video, this is a worksheet. Everything we are seeing here, the ribbon bar, the formula bar, the the sheet area. So this is our yes, this one worksheet. So this page, everything in this page is basically a sheet. So you can see that the ribbon bar, the formula bar, then the calculation area, and then the status bar makes up one worksheet. So if you want to create another worksheet, you could just select this plus. You can see it shows new sheet. It makes up another sheet. So you're just basically saying that, oh, a workbook is made up of one or multiple worksheets, while a worksheet is basically like a singular page in a workbook. Then in the previous class, we stopped on the overview of Excel interface. So I'm just going to give us a rundown of what the quick access toolbar in a worksheet is. So this is our quick access toolbar in the worksheet. You can see it's customized quick access toolbar. So let's say, for example, you want to open a new workbook and you don't want to go to here to file and select blank workbook. You just want to create it through your quick access toolbar. So and you just want a shortcut basically. You can select new. So if you select new, it will add that shortcut to this quick access toolbar, meaning that you don't have to go back to file or press Ctrl N to open a new workbook. So you just click on this new that was added to open a new workbook which has been done. So the same thing for other tools. So you can see we have open, we have save. If you want to save a workbook without going through the normal way, these are shortcuts. So for you to have access to the shortcut, all you need to do is select it so that it will now bring it out in this section. You can see. So if I, let's say for example, we selected sort ascending. So if I want to remove sort ascending from the shortcut, all I'll just do is deselect it. So you can see that we don't have the sort ascending, we only have sort descending. So if I want to add it back, I'll just select it. So you can see that we have sort ascending. So this is basically a way to add things you know that you want to do frequently, and you don't need to start going to, oh, let me go to file to go and save, or you don't need to say, let me go to file to open a new workbook, or you don't need to say, let me go to, let's say for example, spelling. We know that spelling is in review. Let me go to spelling and check the spelling. So you can just use this quick access toolbar to select anything you know that you'll be using frequently. So it pops up here and then you then make use of it. So if you want to move this quick access toolbar to below the ribbon, we know that everything here, the file, the home, the insert, page layout, formula, data review, everything in this section is called the ribbon. So we want to move it below the ribbon. I just select the show below the ribbon. So you can see now that everything we had on top here, it's now down here. So this is a way to move your quick access toolbar. So talking about understanding rows, columns, and cell in Excel, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Codeblock channel, and give us a thumbs up. Columns, they are represented by alphabet and they run from top to bottom. So we have A, we have B, we have C. You can see that they all run from top to bottom. So you can see it. We have going down, you can see that we have 1048576. So they are running from top to bottom. We have different alphabets. So columns are represented by alphabets. We have A, we have B, we have C, and it goes all the way across the sheet towards the end. Then for rows, rows are represented by numbers and they run horizontally across the sheet. So you can see we have row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4, row 5, and it goes all the way down. So you just need to know that columns are represented by alphabets, rows are represented by numbers. So what is a cell? So a cell is basically a box where we put in the data we want to write. Either it's a formula or either it's a text. So that's basically what a cell is. So how do you know the cell number? So for you to know the cell number, so let's say for example, I write gold inside this box and I want to get the cell number. So what I can just do is that you see this gold, when I select gold, you notice that the color at the top of this blue changes, meaning that Excel has highlighted it, and the 4 also changes, meaning Excel has highlighted it. So it's basically telling you that a cell is the point at which row and the column and the row meet. So you see B meets with 4 at this point. So in Excel, a cell is first named with the columns coming first, then the rows coming second. So in this case, we know it's meeting B is meeting 4. So at that point where it's meeting is basically what we call the cell number. So we name this cell, this particular cell that gold is B4. So let's say for example, I want to write another thing here, keg. We want to know the cell number for this keg. All I just need to do is say, okay, if this is keg, and if I look straight up, keg is in E column, it has been highlighted. Then I'm trying to look for the point at which it's mid row. Then I look at this, I look at my left and I see that 8 has been highlighted also. So basically the cell number is E8. Then also another way for you to get the cell number is just for you to come here, and if you look at, this is where all your cell names are going to be written. So you can see here that it is, we have what we call E8 here. So if you keep moving, if you move to, let's say if you move to another cell, you see that it has changed to J10. So you can either get your cell number through the manual way or you check it here. Excel has already helped you to get the cell number. And then if you want to select the entire column, all you need to do is just press Control Space. Can you see it? Control Space. It's a shortcut. Instead of me having to, select this entire column by dragging my cursor to here, I could just decide to select the cell, then press Control Space. That will highlight the entire column. What if I want to highlight the entire worksheet area? I will just press Control, Shift, and Space. So I could, and this is a shortcut for me to select the entire worksheet. And if I don't want to use Control Shift Space bar, I could also come to this triangle, then select everything here, which selects all the worksheet.